Hello, everyone. Victoria Mattia here. Today is Tuesday, and I wanted to do some Tuesday tips with you. So, today I wanted to share a little bit about my favorite skincare that I use twice a day. I'm also going to show you some add on products, but I thought it would be kind of fun to show you what I use. It's literally just five products. It's kind of on the cuff that I'm doing. Um, I was just doing my process and I thought, wouldn't it be kind of fun to kind of share it with you? I don't usually do this, so this is kind of fun. And then I have a couple add-ons as well. So I am 49 years old and as an autism mom, if you don't know me, I'm the mom care coach. I have two children, both of them have special needs. And my oldest has a diagnosis of level 3 severe autism. And what's really awesome about that is that I feel like it's absolutely fundamental that we as autism moms take care of ourselves. Before I had children, I took care of myself, but it was just me. So I hadn't settled down yet. I wasn't looking after anyone else. It was just myself. And so, yes, I went to the spa all the time and I worked out every day and I got massages all the time. And so it wasn't a big deal. But what's really interesting, I feel like as autism parents, we are forced, meaning like if we want to have optimum health, we must take care of ourselves. And in the mom care coach on the podcast, and whenever I'm speaking, I talk about the four intentional needs, which is mindset, movement, nutrition, and sleep. And these four things will carry you out. And I just recorded a podcast episode that talks about how I put my needs in my daily plan. It's all about planning, making sure that you have tracked it. Because what you track usually gets done. But if it doesn't get tracked, often it kind of just falls by the wayside. And because the truth of the matter is this, we're not giving up on our kids, we're not giving up on our relationships, we're not giving up on our work. Often, when we are fumbling the ball, so to speak, it's when we are giving up on ourselves and saying something like, okay, I'll practice self care Sunday, or I'll make an effort this week, but we don't actually pencil anything in, so it doesn't get done. And I always say that we don't have to be number one on the list, but we do need to be on the list in order for our strategies to actually work. We can have it in our mind, top of mind, all the amazing things that we want to do and can do, but it will not come through unless we have a plan to make that work. So, one of the things that I make sure I do is self care, especially when it comes to my skincare. Because honestly, it's very simple for us to like throw some water on our face and just keep going because there's always tons of things that must get done. And often with kiddos, especially special needs kiddos, there's a lot of things that are urgent. And it can take precedence over some of the things that are important but are not urgent. So, in order for those to get done as well, I have my morning routine, I have my nighttime routine, I have my AM block, my PM block, and rest time. And I also have a work block, and that's how we strategize our day throughout the day, every single day, except for Shabbat, of course. But even on Shabbat, I have certain things that I do throughout the day. It's not a free for all, especially in special needs families. And that's something that I've never actually heard anyone speak about. If you are, observant um, in the way of a Shabbat, in the way of practicing your faith. How do you do that with special needs kids? It can't just be a free for all of a Shabbat where we just kind of all sit around because my kids, that just would not work. Work, no pun intended. But we have certain times that we do certain things, and it's all biblical, and it's still in the understanding of what is allowed according to Torah. But there are certain things that we do, and I would love to hear if you are a mom that observed Torah. I'd love to be able to hear your views on that if you have a child with special needs, how that works in your home on your Shabbats and your holy days, because I've never heard anyone speak about it. But anyway, this Tuesday, we are talking about skincare, and I've already cleansed. I believe in doing like a double cleanse, so I'm actually gonna finish up um, wiping my face, and then our skin is our largest organ, so it's really important that we take care of our skin and then not just apply anything on our skin. It needs to be good quality. And like I said, I'm 49. This is my last year in my 40s. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it is important that I take good care of myself. Our skin absorbs all kinds of, environmental toxins and things in the air, and that can affect our physical health. Not just our skin, but actually our other organs as well. It can be absorbed into our skin. So it's very important that we are mindful about the ingredients that we put on our skin. The next thing I'm going to put on is my toner. This whole process, because I'm talking to you, will take a little longer, but generally speaking, it really just takes less than 2 minutes. And it's like five ingredients, if you want to do just these five things. But I'm actually going to add in a couple other ingredients. And here's the serum. As we age, I always heard, well, I don't know about always, but I have heard that you need a good skincare system. You need to make sure you're drinking lots of water. You need to make sure that you're eating lots of, fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, things that are really wonderful for the skin, like flaxseed and, blueberries and avocados. Those are really lovely things for the skin. But you also need, like in the daytime, a good vitamin C serum. And that's one of the add on products of the system that I brand. And then in the evening, you want to make sure you have like a retinol. I have a plant based retinol. And there are these peel pads that I will use on my skin as well. Like, I think I'm going to do it now, even though usually you will do that before your toner, what I was talking. So there you go. So, yeah, it's really important, you know, taking care of your skin. I don't have any makeup on. I didn't wear any makeup today. Today was a day where another thing I never hear people talk about is grocery shopping. Grocery shopping is always challenging to me because it just takes a lot of time and intention to make sure you're paying attention to like what you're wanting to get, the prices that you're wanting to get, and taking care of the kids at the same time, making sure, trying to avoid meltdowns and things like that. And so I've always found it to be really stressful, even when I shop online, because I have to find time to do it. And what I usually do is I'll go to the library or I'll do it in the evening. But my evenings, I work online. So often I don't want to use my precious work hours for that purpose. So I will do it like somewhere else. And it can make it's my dog, a little bit easier. Is it really easier? I don't really know. But I don't know. I always find it to be very challenging. Hi, sweetheart. Hey, buddy. So anyway, I'm just doing the pill pads in the morning. I already did my vitamin C serum. And, it's one of those things that you really don't see on a day-to-day basis, like how it's impacting your skin. But then you can look back and you're like, wow, my skin looks really amazing and much better than maybe it did before. So I like that. Now, another thing that is new um, that I have been putting in my regimen is the NAD plus. serum. I put it on. So this is my regular serum. This is the 5 steps. So I already cleansed with a cleansing balm. I already put the toner on, and then I did my add-on. This is a separate price point. The add-on, whichever the peel pads, and I did the toner, and then I just did the other serum. And now I'm doing my NAD plus serum. I love this. Now, nowadays, there are people that get the injections of the GLP-1 as well as NAD plus. But what I've heard about NAD plus is that NAD, even as an injectable form, it's really hard for it to actually absorb. Like once it actually gets in the body, it doesn't absorb in a way where it can do as much good. And so, what's better is to nourish the body. And so, I actually have a powder that I drink as well, and it supports your natural formation of NAD. Now, our body produces NAD, but as we age, it usually decreases. And so, this powder is made of niagen, and it's actually my brand. They studied it for over 25 years before they actually brought it to market. And it's amazing. I totally can see the difference. What NAD does, it helps with cellular energy, which is so important. GLP-1, the shot that people are injecting now, both GLP-1 and NAD shots. Most of the time they're synthetic, but there's different brands that does different things. But the GLP-1 is a peptide, and the injectable form that I have seen is synthetic. Your body naturally makes this peptide, the GLP-1. But as we age, of course, it decreases. And what happens, what GLP-1 can do, it helps that our bodies naturally make. It helps with, quieting food noise. So you don't feel like you need to eat a variety of different things. It helps balance blood sugar. It helps um, keep your weight and your metabolism working properly. And I actually have another supplement, which is really awesome. And it helps to support your natural GLP-1 that your body makes. And I love it because it also helps to balance blood sugar, and it does help with fat loss and quieting the food noise. But it uses your natural and what it can do, and all of that. So that is something really awesome. This is the eye cream. I really love this because over the years, to be quite honest, I haven't used a ton of brands, but the ones that I have used, I only have one that I absolutely love, and it's my personal brand that I partner with. And it's one that I have used over 20 years. And even when I would try other things, this is the one I always come back to. So these are the 5 products. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is the fifth one. So I'm going to put that on now. It is a day cream and a night cream, but I also have another add-on product is a separate, yes, it's the separate night cream. And so I'm going to use that instead of using, actually, I'll probably use both. Um, so yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys, different things that work in your family, especially if you have special needs kiddos, how you make sure that you have your self-care done every day. What are your favorite things that you use? Here's that day cream slash night cream. That is awesome. But I just so happen to have I purchased the night cream as well. Um, but I tell you what, this system is amazing. And um, it's usually recommended even starting in your 20s, this particular system. And you can do your add-ons. But here is the 5 steps Oh my goodness, how do I even carry it up with these 5 steps? And as you can see, I'm like fumbling with it. They're very, very simple. And then here's the add-on. This is the NAD Plus Skin Booster. So there is a powder that I recommend and a brand as well that is on my website, and the powder that you just drink it. But this is the booster that actually goes on your skin and it helps it to give that more that glowy look, and I feel like you can totally tell a difference. I love it. And I've only been using the booster for just like I started probably a couple weeks ago because we had our yearly conference, but I didn't actually use it daily um, until recently. And I was just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go all in and really see how I like it. By the way, I also believe in double cleansing. So this cleansing balm I will use twice to cleanse, and it works beautifully. So I hope that these little tips are awesome for you, and it kind of gets you thinking about what kind of fun things you like to do when it comes to self-care and at home. Because even though like I said, I love getting a good massage and facials and everything, but with busy kiddos, especially over the years, I just have not had a substantial amount of time to myself to do my self-care outside of the home. And if I depended upon when I was actually going to be able to get out of the home to do my self-care, it would not be consistent. But we should always care about ourselves and help ourselves to be consistent. Like, I love gyms, but I don't consistently have the opportunity to go to the gym. We all are in different boats. We all, when it comes to being an autism mom, everybody's different. All of our resources are different. And sometimes our energy levels are different, and what we can do on a daily basis is different. But being able to have systems and routines and be able to use those at home, we can be in charge of how often we do things. And I think that's a very powerful thing. And we have the ball in our court. So I hope you have a great day and you can hear that. I will talk to you next time.